Hey guys, this is Lala Legacy, and welcome back to another episode of Cinderella Phenomenon. So, let's jump right back in. For some reason, I turned to look at Karma, who is one of the only people who doesn't look away from me. Oh my goodness. I grew up outside of this kingdom, but even I knew of the terrible witch Hildir. You expect me to believe any of this? Mother was. She wasn't a witch. I would remember that. Well, you would if you had memories of the war, and the years before that. Under, under Hildir's rule, the palace was a dark place. The king didn't have any real power until Hildir was defeated. That goes for the rest of us too. We were slaves to Hildir. Dolores' eyes flickered to Waltz. It's the truth. Waltz knows because he is also a witch. He experienced Hildir's command over the witches firsthand as well. Waltz is a witch? Sorry for keeping it a secret, Princess. It's not as if I can use much magic anymore anyway. Not when I'm cursed. This is just another secret of many. It seems everyone is hiding something. Everyone was freed after Hildir's reign, witches, fairies, and humans alike. The king was even able to marry Ophelia, the woman he always truly loved. So, it has always been Ophelia that he truly loved. Was that the reason I never felt any love from him? Because I was my mother's daughter? He gave up on me. No, dear, I don't think he... He gave up on me! My voice is too loud in the reception area. I feel it crack beneath the pressure, and suddenly, I want to cry. But Mother told me so many times not to cry. The king gave up on me. But Mother didn't. Mother would tell me this was all a lie. She would tell me not to trust anyone. They must be lying. I turned to Karma. For some reason, I trust him more than I trust Delora or Parfait. Is this the truth? I was told the story of Hildir and her daughter Melody. They said you were the picture of elegance, but that you shared your mother's icy nature. But I don't think that's true at all. If Hildir was ice, then you most certainly are a warm fire. If my mother was a witch, then what does that make me? You're, yeah, you're a witch as well. Whether or not you were ever taught to use magic, on your upcoming birthday you will become the Tenebrarum bearer. Do you realize how ridiculous this all sounds? Me, a witch? The king never said anything. And now I cannot even ask him if this is the truth because I'm cursed. Why would you even curse me? We didn't want want a repeat of the tragedy, Melody. I sat on your shelves for almost a year, Princess. There was ice in your heart, and if you had inherited the Tenebrarum in that state, who knows what would have happened? Then why didn't you just tell me any of this? Delora and Parfait look at each other before dropping their gazes to the ground. If we had told you before, would you have even bothered to listen? The king must have tried to do the same thing, and look how that turned out. You shut out everyone who ever tried to tell you about Hildir's true nature. That that is probably true. Even now I'm having trouble believing that they are telling me the truth. The whole world feels as if it's collapsing around me. I need to escape. I need to go out and be somewhere else, but why are witches looking for me? You are the heir to the Tenebrarum. No doubt the evil witches want you on their side, so they can continue wreaking havoc in Angelie. Yeah, whoops. Yeah, I don't know anymore. I can't even do this right now. Angel, I think. with the fairy tale curse. The men that were looking for Melody were not witches, though. They were knights. Perhaps the witches and the knights are working together. This must be part of Alcaster's scheme to steal the throne. What are you talking about? The reason why Garland and I left the Order of Caldera was because the king did not believe us about Alcaster's coup. How would he know the princess's identity, though? Anyone who isn't a witch, a fairy, or isn't cursed shouldn't be able to remember her. But now we know that it is not just the witches looking for the princess, but the knights of the Order of Caldera as well. They definitely have a description of her from someone. Melody. Karma reaches out a hand to touch my shoulder, and I flinch back before standing up. I cannot speak about this now. I want to be alone. Let her go. She'll need a lot of time to think. I leave everyone sitting at the table as I try to process the whirling thoughts in my mind. Hildir, my mother, the only person I ever thought loved me, was the Tenebrarum bearer, a witch, the first witch to kill a human, the witch that started the fairy tale curse. All this time, I thought my mother was the only one who cared, but what if she never did? I stayed in my room for a long time, trying to process everything I have been told. Well, dang. Days go by before I decide to leave the tavern again to watch Karma practice with the knights. These last few days I felt hollow. Maybe seeing the normal practices will help me feel better. Maybe it will make things feel like nothing's changed. When I arrive at the forest, however, only Karma is standing in the clearing. He's staring through the trees as if he sees something there, but his expression is solemn, almost sad. Eventually he sighs, shaking his head before turning in my direction. Melody! Oh, whoops, he's not in his female form right now. Melody! I prepare myself for a response, but find that no words come to mind. I have not spoken to Karma since the talk about mother and witches, and any of the ease I felt with him before has slipped away. Still, I came here on my own, and I cannot just stand here being mute. I say the first thing that comes to mind. Where are Jurian and Garland? I'll only train with Garland. Jurian is on patrol duty tonight. He'll be here later. I just came early. It seems you did too. Melody, are you okay? I'm sorry I haven't been by to see you. It is not as if you owe that to me. I don't owe it to you, but I truly wanted to. I've just been busy these last few days, scouting the town for information. As much as I want you to come with me. Why would you ever have wanted to pair up with someone like me anyway? Why, princess? That's because I am bitter and cold, and even though I want to change, all I can think about is myself. But now I want to change because I do not want to be the same as my mother. Isn't that selfish? Maybe so, but I believe you are being selfish for the right reasons. An entirely selfless person can't survive in this world. Before we can make others happy, we have to be happy ourselves. Happy? Ourselves? Ugh, fruit flies. I think my roomie must have accidentally left something again. Anyways, yes, an angry person holds resentment towards everyone, and it mars whatever good deeds they seek to do. That is why I cannot complete my good deeds. Wrong. You've already got one done. Recognizing the need for change is always a good thing, Melody. Regardless of the motivation, you are trying to become a better person. That is what matters. He takes a step towards me, then puts his hand on my shoulders and leans down until I can look right into his eyes. Karma's serious expression startles me as much as his touch. It is never too late for anyone to change. You taught me that. What? How could I have taught Karma anything? Do you mind if I tell you a story, Melody? He's standing too close. Don't move. With his face so close, all I can do is stare right into his eyes. Karma's hands tighten on my shoulders, and for a few moments I feel a slight panic rising in my chest. Then Karma steps away from me with a rough shake of his head. Karma! Next time I do that, Melody, feel free to push me away. What? It's better that way. Oh my goodness. What does he mean by that? You never answered. Will you listen to my story? All right. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a crown prince from a kingdom called Brugantia, I guess. Brugantia is one of the neighboring kingdoms, so this isn't make-believe? His name was Claude Idric Rinaldi Matthias Almonte, but because the name was such a mouthful, he settled for an acronym as a nickname. Ah, at least around the palace, where it was acceptable. Claude Idric Karma. Prince Claude was a man who flaunted his beauty and talents to all that he met. He often used his title to get what he wanted. Prince Claude was a selfish man, who felt he was entitled to everything that he had. He was vain and often left his castle unattended so that he could avoid his responsibilities. Then one day he chanced upon a beautiful maiden in the town square. He led her around the whole day, being as charming as he possibly could. And then at the end of the day, he asked the woman to be his lover. She agreed, but their time together did not last long. Only weeks later Prince Claude threw her away as one throws away an object, and broke the woman's heart, and she cursed him. That beautiful maiden was a witch, but Prince Claude found out too late. The witch said that she would make his beauty, his vanity, a curse. To make even beauty a curse! Ashamed of being cursed, Prince Claude donned a disguise and left his kingdom behind. He has been gone for nearly a year now, and most probably assume he is dead. But in truth, the prince had come to Angiel seeking a way to break his curse. He had heard of a young lady named Melody, who on her 18th birthday could dispel any curse. Karma! He looks so sad. I don't know how to comfort him. Claude? Oh, he's blushing. Karma, Claude, turns a startling red as he stares at me for a few moments. For a few moments he does not speak. Then he bursts out laughing. I stare at him in shock, not understanding his reaction. I feel myself flush. Isn't that your real name? No, darling, it is. But hearing you say my name, well, it sounds so much softer out of your lips. I rather like it. My cheeks are warm again. How is it that he is always able to make me feel this way? I will call you by that name if it makes you so happy. Let's make it a secret between the two of us. I'm still Miss Karma here. Besides, I'd rather you kept that name for my ears only. It makes me feel more special that way. Oh, his name changed to Claude now. More Special? At that moment, Garland shows up for practice, and Claude politely excuses himself. I watch the two of them trade blows. Claude favors his other hand, but his blows still come quickly, even with his injury. The more Claude tells me, the more I realize that he's, like me, a noble cursed for being selfish. But how do I help break his curse? Why can't he tell me? As practice is drawing to a close, Claude asks Garland the usual question. Have you confessed to Jurian yet? Garland only shakes his head in reply. The two men sheathe their swords. Garland looks almost sad as he turns to make his way back to the tavern. He likes her, and yet he won't say anything. Why is that frustrating me so much? Garland! Yes, Princess. It's nothing. As much as I want to say something. Claude told me before how hard confessing was. I cannot begin to understand what that would be like. Princess? Melody, don't be afraid to tell him what's on your mind. Maybe you should really tell her, Garland. But before, Claude was adamant that Garland shouldn't confess to Jurian. What changed? If I mess this up. Let's try looking at it through another lens. Imagine that Jurian is Melody. How do you think she would like to be confessed to? I frown at the two men, arms crossed. Excuse me? Well, you and Jurian are very similar. You're both very straightforward. Confess to the princess? My eyes move to Claude, but only fleetingly, before they are once again on Garland. You just need to do something simple, Garland, something that will not rub her the wrong way. A maiden's heart is ever fragile, and each woman is different. Claude is wearing an amused smile on his face, but he's looking at me, not Garland. I feel my face flush and have to look away. Melody, you're tomato red again. It's adorable. I cross my arms over my rapidly beating heart again and force a scowl on my face. No, I was just thinking about what Garland could do. Something simple, like when Karma kissed my hand, Garland kissing Jurian's hand is probably not a good idea. Maybe he could do what Claude and I did that one day in town. He can buy her some food, and they can just talk. Garland, have you ever asked Jurian out for food? Not alone. Jurian is practical, and she always eats at the tavern. She's also always on duty if she's available. I'll take her patrol shift 2 nights from now then, and tomorrow you can ask her out for a meal. We can make your invite a grand affair. We can drape banners on the walls, or I could give you a rose. Oh gosh. Oh, no! Quit it! That sounds... Oh Jesus, come on. Like a terrible idea. I am offended. I feel like if I did something like that for Jurian, she would get embarrassed and punch me. Sounds like another lady I know. Claude grins at me, but I just roll my eyes. Garland, just ask her normally, and then when you are out and alone together you can confess. And we'll make sure you have the time to do it. I'll purposely come late to practice tomorrow night so you can ask her out for that date. How does that sound? You two really think I can do this? You just have to ask the question. Whatever follows will at least be an answer. Tomorrow night, then. Good man! I'm sure it will go swimmingly. Or I could drown. You won't drown, Garland. Quit being such a baby. Garland excuses himself with a nervous smile before Claude turns to me, expectantly, with a mischievous grin. Now, Melody, we'll come here early tomorrow and spy on them. We need to scope out a good spot. Spy on them? Of course! We need to make sure that our efforts pay off. I don't think we should. You don't want to see how it plays out? I mutely shake my head, unable to put my emotions into words. For some reason, I am imagining myself in Jurian's position. It feels too personal. Claude's likeliness suddenly springs to mind, and I feel my face grow hot again. Melody, you've been oddly out of it today. But that is all the time that I have for this episode, guys. So, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe. By subscribing, you're becoming part of a legacy. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!